All right. Why does why does OBS do this stuff to me? Anyways, I am your host, Michael Ringtail, your human observer. Today we got some things. Other than my beautiful open folder here. There we go. Oh, that's cute. Let's just get away from the post that we're at. There we go. So, last week we talked about gays against groomers and how these anti-gay humans, or rather gay humans, trying to make themselves look good for their conservative antagonists who want them dead. With the main focus, of course, being on trans people and just setting things up to have gay people hate trans people when the Supreme Court decides to roll back gay marriage or take away more rights. Because, as it turns out, there's already a record amount of bills seeking to curtail queer rights. Restrictions on youth athletes to 162 bills. Just this year alone. So 58 of those, restrictions on youth athletes. Curriculum restrictions, 44. Adolescent healthcare restrictions, religious or First Amendment exemptions for discrimination. As you can see, this is mainly focused on trans people and just others right here, whatever that means. Various things. Well, look at that. Ron Jeremy indicted on rape and other sexual assault charges. Not surprised. So trans is to the boogeyman here. Thankfully, I managed to screenshot one of my comments on last stream because YouTube decided to delete it, or the commenter decided to delete it. Either way, it sucks. But luckily, I managed to screenshot it. I don't know what my response was to it, but we'll go through it here real quick before we get into some videos. Some beautiful, scrumptious human videos. As I pull it up here again. I had it open, but I don't know. I am dumb like that. Oh yeah, make sure my chat's working properly. There it goes. Alright. Alright, so this person doesn't want their name shown apparently, but so in regards to gays against groomers, they are against brainwashing kids and woke gender and sexuality ideology and just let their kids figure it out on their own. Well, kids actually do figure it out on their own. In fact, around 3-4 years old, that's when kids start developing things like gender identity, or rather, their familiarity with their own bodies. And even lots of people you talk to, they know that they had either bi tendencies or gay tendencies when they were very young. Doesn't mean it has to involve sex or sexual activity. It's more drawn towards either the same gender. But yes, there it is. Yeah, around age 2, children become conscious of the physical differences between boys and girls. For their 3rd birthday, most children can easily label themselves as either boy or girl. By age 4, most children have a stable sense of their gender identity. Now, it's like a 1% chance, or even less than 1% chance, that you're going to be trans. And it's not that high for being gay either. I don't know what the percentage is like when it comes to likelihood, but we're talking about trans people, so we'll focus on that. Alright, where is this comment at now? Yeah, right here. So yeah, let kids figure it out on their own, especially with the trans stuff, according to PubMedical article, 80% of childhood gender dysphoria goes away as an adult without the individual becoming trans, which means that intervening too early literally carries 80% chance of a wrong diagnosis and ruin life and body. No one's going to surgically transition a child. In fact, I'm going to look that up right now. I'm just going to find here, do trans kids get surgery? Video unavailable. Oh great, getting pop-up ads. Yeah, I say it's risky because I don't know. I'm not a medical doctor, and I don't know what it's like to be trans, and never will. I've never felt any dysphoria as a male. Let's see. Skylar, teenager in New Haven, transitioned at age 14. Went on testosterone, has breasts removed, and won his school's homecoming with a female date. His quiet confidence is supported by a culture of transgender support groups, YouTube videos, enthusiastic TV reporting, and a new diagnosis of gender dysphoria. More positive than the old gender identity disorder. Some experts say early medical treatment is risky, and a few parents are still nervous. Yeah, you know, I just wouldn't do. I don't want to be too hasty on it. That's all. But I don't know what it's like to have a transgender kid either, and I'm not sure how I'm supposed to feel. How I'm supposed to feel bad about this. How long ago was this? (2013). This is 10 years ago now. Alright, that's what we're looking at right now. So let's, I want to see, where is Skylar? That's 10 years ago, right? He was already out of high school. That's it? Nope, this is someone else entirely. That's named Skylar. Okay. Let's try that again. No, but we got a transgender murderer named Skylar. Apparently there's a lot more people named Skylar than I thought. Oh, Dylan. Okay, this guy. I remember this. I didn't know she was transgender. Ah. Officially changed in 2019. That's right. He's like a bit role in a Mighty Morphin Power Rangers episode, and it's just like so small that you wouldn't even know who it was. Wow, that's weird. Yeah, I'm just going down a rabbit hole of people named Skylar, apparently. Anyways. Let's see. I read the medical journal, skimmed through it a little bit, and he's pointing to here, the article, PMC, I can just type it up, I can type fast, PMC 5841333. And my question is, too, is like, why is he so focused on this? Or her? Anyway, I just look up 80%. There you go. Okay, 80% of children who meet the criteria for gender, I think GDC, the GD recedes with purity. Said many of these adolescents will identify as non-heterosexual. Interviewed adolescents with different outcomes of GDC. Adolescents mentioned social environment, the anticipated results of bodily changes, and first romantic and or sexual experience as central factors in the distance of their persistence of GD. I mean, is there any surgery happening before puberty? It just doesn't make any sense to me that it would happen before, like, puberty or counseling and treatment. Point is, though, you're not going to brainwash kids into being trans, and that's what this is all coming down to. So yeah, if that's what they're about, and I see no problem with it. Don't brainwash kids. I don't know what I responded to him. I did respond to him, but YouTube deleted the comment, so now it's not there anymore. So now I'm getting he's coming at me with. Am I not have it? I'll tell you, YouTube deleted the next comment that he left. I didn't screenshot that one. Okay, there we go. Yeah, I said something along the lines of you're not going to brainwash kids, but anyways, come on! This stuff is so far removed from the 90s, let's just all get along thing. It's crazy. You actually can brainwash kids into being trans by enabling them and transitioning them while they are too young to know for themselves if they are trans or not. As we went over, before you even hit 10 years old, you're going to figure that shit out. And you can only tell that as an adult. As I said, having gender dysphoria as a kid in 4 out of 5 cases doesn't make one trans, just not straight. Yeah, that's why we have counseling and figure that shit out. I know, because I've been there, and thank fuck being trans, that wasn't really a big thing back then. I knew trans people, and it was always an option, but it wasn't encouraged or discouraged. Now, half of the kids, it wasn't even mentioned. It didn't even exist, according to school officials for the most part. Now, half the kids in school, from what some people are saying, seem to be some weird Tumblr gender or transitioning. Half the kids in school, really? You think? You think it's a little exaggerated? Just a little bit? I go to, you know, my day-to-day life, going to, like, the grocery store, picking up food, and going out to other areas. The only time I ever ran into a trans person was at a furry convention. That's about it. So 2 to 3 times a year. It's the only time I ever run into anyone. At least that I know of. I wouldn't know if someone's trans just off, just by looking at them, technically speaking, in some cases. Haven't you noticed a lot more trans people, a lot more in furry as well? Being trans is never really not allowed. This is clearly a social contagion. Oh yes, the Jordan Peterson social contagion theory. Some stupid fad, not a natural thing. No, it's not a fucking fad to cut off your junk, replace it with a vagina, or try to have a penis constructed as a female to male. It's not. No one's gonna go through the agony of transitioning. And for the very few people that I am aware of that do exist that have regretted their transition, who are not actually trans, the examination should be on the surrounding environment. Like, why did this person have to go through all these underhanded measures to get themselves surgery thinking that they are trans? Why did they have to be so secretive? Why they felt the need to be so secretive about it? This person probably could have figured out... The person that I'm referring to is a anti-trans activist right now who was transitioned from, I think, female to male, and now they're looking to be transitioned back, or they transitioned back. The point is that if the environment we lived in was more accepting of trans people, he probably wouldn't have been diagnosed as trans, or rather he would have gotten a more proper diagnosis that would lead to him not having to go through surgery. But we have to keep everything on the down low, like, oh shit, this is a big deal. And I'll be right back. Where was I? Yeah, so what was I saying? Yeah, the environment you live in is a little more accepting, then you wouldn't have situations like that as much, if at all. Alright. And are you seriously defending the drag queen story hour crap? It's clearly not appropriate for children. What about magicians? Or just like, all drag is just someone in a costume. Even just on the face of it, drag queens are inherent a sexual thing. No, it's not sex. Dressing up, unless there's like sexual objects or, you know, body parts being exposed or something of that nature, it's not sex. What about, again, what about people dressed up in like leather at like biker events? Yeah, it's just like, you might as well just be in a it's just a costuming thing. Like, oh man, that could just easily be male versus someone dressing up as a female drag queen. Oh boy, scary stuff. Plus, walking in dressed like some horror version of a Christmas tree kind of takes away from one's credibility. God. Credibility is what? The ability to read a storybook? So if you want something that kind of proves the idea that you cannot brainwash children into being the opposite gender, Let's look up the girl who was born a boy. So these twins were born. Doctor botched the circumcision on one of them. And the psychologist, WhacK, figures, hey, you know what? Gender is a social construct. It is a social construct. But he figures, hey, if you raise them as a girl, they'll just be a girl. And you can figure out the other complications down the road, you know, why they don't have a ovaries or anything like that. You can figure that out when they're older. So you convince these parents, who definitely don't have the medical know-how compared to a doctor, sure. You convince these parents to raise their son as a girl, and wouldn't you know it, it didn't turn out that way. Despite making an effort to raising him as a girl, he still managed to figure out that there was just something wrong about him. There was something off. And this is, obviously it wasn't like planned this way. This was from a botched circumcision, but this was from the very start. The very, very start of things, as a baby, being raised as a girl. And it wasn't even before he was a teenager that things went awry. Oh, yes. What? How?
So you might be able to edit video.
It's gonna be pretty helpful. Love you, fans. Love you, Hans. Oh yeah, this is great. Well, I would say great. This is a tragic story. His brother ended up committing suicide. It's that there was just so much, I don't know, mental anguish going on in the family. It was ridiculous. But yes, as I was saying, you cannot just outright convince a child that they are a certain gender when they're not. Really, the idea of gender roles should just be abolished altogether. Like, why is the girls section in every toy place like just pink? Why is everything pink? I don't understand this. What was the obsession with pink whenever it comes to girl stuff? You go to any other section, and like all the boys' toys or whatever you want to call it, all the other toys, Legos, Nerf, all the stuff that's like meant for boys, is all like various colors and themes. And you go to the girls section, it's just pink. Everything's pink. Just a funny observation. So yeah, we got rid of the bills there. Let's get off this trans train and get on to I thought this was fun. An Ohio man quit his job as a teacher after 6 years to work at Walmart because it pays $12,000 more a year. This is actually very relatable to some of the other furries I live with. Backfire, who's some other furries I know even too, who have quit their jobs in tech and IT because doing something more simple and laid back, whether it's being like a laborer or a machinist or just simple like AV tech even, pays just as much as a lot of these supposedly high-end career positions, being a programmer and being a tech in some cases. Clarkson. Welcome. Pink was used very differently in the 60s. Oh, I'm curious. I'll look that up. So let's see. Ohio man recently quit his job as a teacher for position at Walmart. Seth Goshorn says the reason he switched jobs was simple. The Walmart role would pay $12,000 or more. He'll make $55K a year before bonuses compared to the $43,000 he made as a teacher. That's after working 6 years almost. That is fucked. Teachers need to be paid more. We live in a capitalist society, so the incentive is indeed, unfortunately, to just pay people more money to make the degrees and positions more worthwhile. There is a girl I know who was a teacher as well, and she quit her job because she's making more money just... Well, it's not that she's making more money. She has a husband that makes enough money, and her being a teacher is just a kind of a waste. Especially with the superintendents that don't know anything. And, you know, allows her to be more creative in her in her art and selling things. So yeah, going from teaching 6 years to be a manager at Walmart. And make more not using my degree. Wow. He worked in education for 5.5 years, first as reading and tutor. You know what? I would say it probably is better because customers are more inclined to treat you better than students are in some cases. Man, back then, pink was considered a classy, dapper color, like how the color of cream was. The pink was usually more saturated. Huh. That's actually a good example there too. Just like how like the idea of gender roles or whatever, I guess, evolve, and the idea of like what colors are associated with what. But yeah, you should just let kids be kids, and that includes just letting them figure their shit out. Like my parents, even though, you know, they're basic lemurs and they don't exactly have a lot of intelligence outside of Madagascar and what's going on in the Earth. I mean, they don't care. I was just at a reunion recently, and you know, they did the usual thing: sitting around, eating bugs, grooming each other, and that's about it. A little bit of hanky-panky, but you know, they're lemurs, so what do you expect? What was I getting at? Oh yeah, lemur family reunion. Okay, yes. Yeah. A pink 60s Cadillac, I guess, like that. Okay. That's actually kind of interesting. But yes, what is it? Oh yes. And just like, my parents were pretty laid back, and they just let me for the most part, my own devices. They don't reject me despite my differences. They've made compromises, as I've made compromises for them. They respect me enough to know that it's more important to accept me for who I am and love me still, rather than love an idea of what I should be. You know, the fact that I don't meet their expectations or whatever 100% is not as important as my happiness to them. And so I can respect that, and that's generally how it should be. I had to do a lot of reflection after going into my family reunion, just realizing how lucky I am to have a family, for the most part, on both sides, who actually respect and care about me. And they didn't see it as some grievance or detriment of me being bisexual, let alone doing what I'm doing here. I mean, this is very un-lemur-like right now. Being all intelligent and communicating with the human world and everything, and going out in public. But yeah, just let kids figure this shit out on their own for the most part. And this whole fucking pushback against gays in the classroom and teaching kids about gender and gays existing is just bullshit. All it is just about being more accepting. And when I was in school in the 90s, we learned all about racism. We learned about the history of racism, of school segregation. They didn't talk about systemic racism. I didn't even think about that until I was, this age almost. But that's just the same kind of shit. You could have made similar arguments back then saying that we are encouraging racial tensions between us by teaching all this racism shit. They're gonna start thinking that we owe them something and they're gonna take it out on us or whatever. Teaching kids that queer people exist, that someone might have two mommies or two daddies or whatever. All it is just creating more acceptance of people who are different than them. People who live in different situations than them. One example of how different social norms were in some cases, my aunt grew up in a hostile family because she was adopted. There were comments made to her father like, "You cannot leave her alone. She might take your money and leave. You know, she might steal money. You can't trust her. She's not blood." They didn't want her near in family events with her father. And her father would be like irritated and stressed out and probably anxiety induced because of his family. Just very, I don't want to say abusive, just ordinary and angry with her to the point where she even confronted him at some points. Yeah, why did you even adopt me? Why? Why did you adopt me if you're going to treat me this way? You're going to be like this. Just completely rejected. So you want to know why? I mean, it's so insane to me, the idea that you would be ostracized just for being an adoptive child by the rest of the family like that. It's fucking ridiculous. Anyways, let's talk about furries. I know it's a furry channel, we're going to talk about furries. Man, that's insane. So this guy, Flip. Does anyone else jerk off to completely safe for work fursuit photos? My imagination is crazy. I'll see a photo where they're just doing a cute pose and my brain will automatically be like, I wonder how it would feel like if they were face fucking me like that. And I think that's pretty harmless. I mean, you can't control what people think in their mind. Some people sexualize feet, so if I'm like at the beach and someone takes a picture of my feet, am I going to be like, oh fuck, someone's going to get off to that? Like I'm going to fucking stop them? Give me a break. But apparently a lot of people thought this was like rapey or something. Like oh god, if someone's... You don't need a naked photo of a woman to get all like sexual with her. Like, I don't know. Let's just look up... Well, let's look up woman in a red dress. Like someone could look at a picture of this and probably get horny and get off to it. Doesn't do anything for me. Not enough fur on this. But someone could look at this and get horny. Is she being raped then? Is that like a rape? But apparently some people took this tweet as that. Like, come on. You can think whatever you want. Whatever goes on in your head is your own. It goes on in your head. It's not real. So, I like this person's because so many people gave this person a backlash, saying that he was against consent and promoting rape because, you know, that's just so fucking rampant in public venues. This person did this. A declaration of unrestricted authorization of FAP. The undersigned, hereby authorize Flip to use my character fursuit content of my creation to imagine whatever the fuck they want about them and use them or any part as fapping material. Please contact the undersigned for further inquiries or clarifications. I love it. Brilliant. Yes, I authorize Flip, if you ever see a picture of me in any form, even if I'm just standing around, you have my authorization to jerk off as much as you want to that photo. You can even jerk off on that photo if you want. You don't have to, as long as you just don't go out of your way to send it to me directly. Actually do that too, because I think it would be amusing. Not the physical picture though, just like a picture of the picture of you jerking off on it. That'd be kind of funny. I'd find that hilarious. Someone else made some other useless thread about, I don't know, consent being a problem in the fandom and hugging, whatever. And I think it's just common sense that you don't just surprise hug people or grope them without prompting, or, you know, you're not at the right party for that sort of thing. Whatever. Besides the point. I got into this thread with someone here. Switch over accounts. Where is it? Alright, so yeah, the furry fandom is constantly has boundary and consent issues when it comes to fursuiters, and it's weird to me that it's so normalized to deal with. Let's talk about it, blah blah blah. And this person here, I feel like this should be about Flip's post, since he was actively sexualizing people's suits without their consent. Like, what is he supposed to do? He's supposed to walk up to furries and fursuiters and be like, sir, can I fap off to your suit? Can I think about your suit and fuck it? Fake fuck it in my mind? Like, I don't know. Let me pull up some fursuit pictures I got. Preferably some clean ones. Let's see. Here's a normal one. So, like, I don't know. If someone looks at this and gets off to that, is that person being raped now? I mean, I don't understand this. This person cannot possibly know what I'm doing in my own brain. And even if they do, if I go out of my way and tell them, that's a whole other story, right? But I think it's assumed, I think it would be assumed, that adult humans are fapping off to shit. They're fapping off to all kinds of shit. They're schlicking and fapping to all kinds of different pictures out there. So I told this person, well, Crafty Andy came in here and told this person, a person can imagine anything they want in their head. That's why it's called imagination. Unless this is a Minority Report, in which case, don't think bad thoughts. What about people sexualizing paws, jaws, and maws? Should people be required to ask Game Freak's permission before pretend fucking their Pokemon? Well, according to most Pokedex entries, most Pokemon, except maybe, like, Lucario and Gardevoir, or whatever the fuck that is, have the intelligence of an animal. So tell me whether it's right or wrong. Then Crafty Andy comes back. Do Pokemon exist, or are they fictional? I mean, if I'm playing Grand Theft Auto, is it right to kill everyone in sight, or not? You tell me. If I'm playing Baldur's Gate, is it right to play a bard with maxed out strength and no charisma? I don't know. How would that work? And she's and then this person comes back. You're comparing apples to oranges here. All I'm saying is if you're fantasizing about having sex with creatures with animal-like intelligence and features, you might want to check yourself. And then Crafty Andy comes back. Humans are animals too, last I checked. So why the exception that it's just A-okay playing out violent fantasies in your head or a video game to playing out sexual fantasies in your head or a book, etc.? And why is that? Why do we have this weird exception when it comes to violence and sex and what you fantasize about? I don't understand this. I could go on here all day. I could commission an artist to draw 12 dozen children falling into a meat grinder and someone eating the meat that's coming out of it, like just fucking like gobbling it up as they go out, as the meat of children come out of that meat grinder. That would just be fine. But if that monster fox or whatever was eating the children meat and fapping off at the same time, and now all of a sudden we're crossing a line, and we gotta find out where this person is and take him out or whatever. I don't understand. Why is that the line? We can get as violent as we want in our movies, in our video games, in our fantasies. But once it goes sexual... I want to see... I can't think of a word that rhymes with sexual. It ain't natural. Like, what? Why? Why is this... Yeah. Once it goes sexual, it ain't natural. So why? Why is there an exception to this? I really would like to know. I have a feeling this person's just gonna block me rather than respond to me. That's usually how it goes on Twitter. I don't like this person. Block echo chamber. Echo chamber! Let's see what this is about.
Say it again, I didn't hear you. What'd you say to me? Oh, tell me.
Whoa, what? Go back to your own country?
Mommy?
And then people wonder why we have a problem with the male race. Grown-ass employees and customers' faces calling me a cunt. The male race? You mean the male gender? Male's not a race. Race doesn't exist. That's a social construct, too. We're dealing with it. We have to deal with it, but... Yeah, there's no such thing as race, but lady.
Say it again, I didn't hear you. What'd you say to me? Oh, tell me. Hi.
Okay, you need to leave.
He's being rude, you're being
No,
rude.
I'm not being rude. You need to leave.
I'm buying the
No,
thing.
you don't want any more customer. You need to leave.
Oh, I'm not a customer?
You're not
So
a
then I
customer
want my
in this store.
thousands of dollars I spend here back every day.
No, leave.
It doesn't work that way,
So then
lady.
give me my thousands of dollars. Give me my thousands of dollars.
No, leave.
Give me my thousands.
How do you have the
of
fucking
dollars
time to
back.
do this?
Then give me my thousands of dollars back.
Out.
Cool, you're getting fired.
Out.
Fired. 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 I said I'm not leaving. Call the cops. I've done nothing wrong. I'm trying to buy something. And he's like, I'm not discounting anything. I'm not selling anything. Get out of my store. Like pushing me out. Like walking me out. Not touching me. But
Yeah, what the fuck did you do? Come on. They didn't just abruptly say I'm not buying or selling you anything.
like pushing me basically out. And then I turn around and you're gonna be rude. Go back to your country. Go back to your country. Because he wasn't from here. That was it. I
Wait,
turned around
what?
and you're gonna be rude. Go back to your country. Like pushing me basically out. And then I turn around and you're gonna be rude.
She said that? She said that to her? Him? Go back to your own country?
Go back to your country. Go back to your
Fired.
country. Because he wasn't from here.
Fired!
That was it. And I mean this sincerely. For all the people in the back, if you ain't gonna fucking respect Americans, go back to your country. Respect is earned, not given. Don't be fucking...
No, respect is given until you are disrespected. Then you take it away. You should not have a prerequisite before having respect. Like if I come up to a stranger, that stranger should have respect. And if they disrespect you, then just as easily as it's given, you can take that respect away and tell them to fuck off. And lady, you are obviously disrespectful in some way. They told you to fuck off, and you're like, if you're gonna be rude to me, why don't you go back to your own country? What the fuck does that mean, you dumb cunt?
rude and working customer service, for one. So I turn around, I say go back to your motherfucking country and learn some fucking manners before you come here. What?
Yeah, I don't know what kind of manners they have in other countries, but in the United States of America, we have nothing but positive customer service. No matter how much I shit in your mouth, you're supposed to sit there and eat it and like it. Because this is America, and you treat the customer with respect, no matter how much no matter how much shit they try to feed you.
Whatever the fuck I said, Spitfire, as always, you know how I do.
You know how I
That
do.
was fucking it.
Want to be influencer?
Back in New York, the word fag is not really, like, offensive, but I understand we live in a day and age, and everybody's not from New York City, and everything is sensitive to everybody who's not from New York City. So the gay guy got really offended when I said for him to go back to his country.
Why wouldn't
Get
he?
out of here, you fucking cunt! Go back to your country! Yeah? You ignorant? Go back! Yeah, that's you fucking cunt! Yelling, screaming at me. So I finally pull out my phone. I'll show you the end of it. Here's the video. Been on the phone in the parking lot still, customer service complaining because that's not how we treat customers. So Mr. Hansen
Fired.
and Jamie are gonna lose their job today. This is what happens when we fuck with Amanda Marie Keshner. Okay, bye!
Fuck off. What a fucking shit. She was proud enough to post this herself. Yeah, you're telling me, man. See if there's any good Karen felt entitled today. Supposedly, according to her, they've been fired, but I don't know. From her website. Hi, I'm Amanda Maury. I'm the minimalist on a self-growth journey. Just living life authentically while inspiring others to do the same. In 2017, I decided to reinvent my life. I sold everything to my name, built a tiny house, and hit the road. I was on a mission to learn about myself, others, and the world around me while immersing myself in nature, culture, and human experiences. So yeah, doing a good job so far, telling other people to go back to their country. Like, whatever the fuck that means. You know, we're on the same fucking planet Earth, so go fuck yourself. We created this space to collaborate with and network with like-minded individuals all around the world. I invite you to come on this journey of life with me as I explore, connect, learn, grow, inspire, and live my best life every day. Mental capacity of a toaster. Yeah, I would agree. GoFundMe. Amanda rebuilt her home. 1,400 raised out of a 20,000 goal. I'm pretty sure it had flexible funding. White women are 50% responsible for the rise of fascism and white supremacy ideology that's destroying America. You can always go back to your country. Yeah, send her back to 1955. Let's send her back to her country. Get a time machine, send her back to 1955. And that way she can live in her own country where she doesn't have... where she won't be making fucking videos anymore like this, and she won't even be allowed to have a job. In fact, at this point, she's probably considered too old to even have a fucking marriage and kids. You're fired! You're fired! I had a woman talk like that to me on the phone when I was working as the call center. Yeah, I talked to a woman at the bank, and she gave my statements to my mother, and I want her fired. I want her fired. All right, well, I could put a complaint about her. No, I want her fired. She should not be working there, and I want her fired. It's like I didn't know that stereotypical type of voice you'd hear only in TV was an actual thing. Thank you for letting me know that I live in that world. Go back to your country. Fuck me. Worthless little shit. Looks like there's no sound on this. Oh, yeah, there is. Oh yeah, you know, just trans is just a popular trend right now. Trans is just a popular trend. Trans women's beaten up by a couple of guys. You know, it's funny to me because it's not funny, but it's interesting to me that, you know, there's videos all the time of like of a cis woman beating the shit out of like a guy, scratching his eye, trying to scratch his eyes out, slapping him around, doing all this weird shit, right? To the point where a guy's pushed to the edge, pushes her down, slaps her. Just whatever, not even like beating her down or anything, right? Just like pushes her around to get her off, and all these fucking simps will come out of nowhere, come out of the fucking woodwork, and just beat the shit out of that guy for daring to touch a woman. But because this is a trans woman, two guys just to get to beat the shit out of her, and we don't see anything happen to them. Where's all the simps that normally would come out and say like, you want to hit a woman? Yeah, trans is just a popular trend though, right? Just a very acceptable, popular trend. It's not risky at all. And it's a cool thing to do, is just to be trans. Let's see if we got any good ones here. We're almost done to the end here, so, you know, calling it soon. Let's see in my notes. Oh, yes. One last thing. Last thing. Going back into furries here. So, I don't know who Neil Fox is, really. In fact, you know what? Let's look him up. Let's see if anything interesting comes up if I look up Neil Fox while we're at it. I got invited to, not this Neil Fox, wrong Neil Fox. My bad. Let me, let's go back and correct that. Apparently there's more than one Neil Fox. Alright. So I got invited to this podcast, and I got ghosted. Not too happy about that. But anyways, I got invited to join up on this podcast. I said, and I got ready for it. I got all dolled up for it. And then nothing. I was messaging him, and nothing. The podcast was about running some kind of game show, asking people questions about Kirill the Wolf. Now, to run through this gauntlet, Kirill the Wolf was a very popular YouTuber, public figure, who got caught exposed in some private chat, talking about molesting kids, fucking roadkill. It was between him and one other person called Snake Thing. So nonetheless, he got exposed as being into some weird fucking shit. And is he posting videos? Oh shit. Anyways, he got exposed being into some weird fucking shit. He talked to the cops. He didn't get arrested or anything as far as I know. It's not that he's innocent. There's clear indication he's guilty of something. But for the most part, he's not even like a public figure anymore. He's not seen around. He's not really doing anything. And Neil Fox is going on about it still.
Most of the world.
We're just gonna speed through some of this here.
Twitter permanently. For speaking up about what I know about the rape case involved in Fear the Wolf.
No, that's probably not why he got banned from Twitter. You're probably banned and getting banned for making some weird posts about it. Like, we get it. We get it. He's guilty of something. Like, this is 4 years ago, by the way. It's kind of already been settled. Yeah, we know he's a fucking weirdo.
Okay. That's first.
Well, I would say more of a weirdo than most furries are weirdos. And it doesn't matter where you come up. Like, it's getting to the point where, like, what do you plan on doing to this person? Are you gonna find out where he lives and murder him? I don't understand what we're doing here. So Crafty Andy came in and on here, and let's see. Wow, the other reply's not even on here. Well, yeah, it's getting to a point where it's getting fucking weird. It makes you think like this person's gonna come up with a gun or something and go to a furry convention. Gotta stop all the zoophiles. They're everywhere. They're all over the place. He's just still going on about Kira the Wolf, even though this has already been settled for 4 years now.
Fear the Wolf's dog posted about any public posts.
And why? And get a screen recorder. Like, why are you recording from your phone to your monitor? And why are we so in the darkness too? You want to? You afraid to wake up your parents or something?
But the theory is that Oda died of what's called a UTI, a urinary tract infection. And
yeah, I should have took him to the vet. Should have took his dog to the vet if that's what happened.
Hands or whatever its very cause, it doesn't matter, to touch the dog's genitals. And as he's doing that, this sometimes happens in zoophile cases, unfortunately. The animal can get really, really sick really, really fast. And because there are pictures and videos of animal abuse in those loops. And
Yeah.
I'm not saying that about anything, because I saw it.
So he's kind of obsessing over it. I just find it interesting that someone's still obsessing over this case and trying to link some other furries into it as if like being friends with them makes you guilty. Just give me a break, man. Get your priorities straight. That's the thing, you know. Roe v. Wade just got overturned. Gay marriage is probably going to get overturned next. Sodomy laws are probably going to get repealed with the Supreme Court that we have here. Just because the majority of the people in this country support gay marriage, support gay rights, doesn't mean that it can get to the point where we're just fucked as queer people. Especially since I'm not even human. I'm a lemur. They can do it. You know, the EPA being repealed, that's one thing. I don't know what the hell I hit there. Like, get your fucking priorities straight, man. Alright, we get it. Kirill's fucking guilty. He's guilty of something. And I'm pretty sure no matter what he does, he can post all the videos he wants. This shit's gonna just keep getting dug back up again and again and again. And no one's ever gonna stop shutting up about it when it comes to like his comment section, so... This idea that there's like some sort of movement on him or whatever, give me a break. It's not happening. And you get convicted of anything? Well, whatever. Like, do you believe in redemption or not? Unless you got him, like, actually abusing animals and actually murdering people, you're not going to get him in jail. But yeah, him and... regardless, I encourage you to look at the chat logs between Kira the Wolf and the snake thing person, because that was pretty fucked up. It's all fucked up, and I wouldn't... yeah, I wouldn't associate with this person with a 20,000 foot pole right now. And probably ever. And there's some other furries out there who have questionable history and jokes, supposed jokes. I won't say who they are right now because, you know, the jury's still out on them, as far as I'm concerned. But it gets fucking weird and kind of creepy. And this is why it's so hard to collaborate with some people. But just to clear that up, and that's pretty much all I got for right now. Like, what the hell is this?
This is Neil Fox, the president for
Yeah,
life
this is
of
what
the
he's trying to
Furry
get me
fandom.
into.
And I am here with Stan the Man. Stan the Man is my very first guest on my new segment called Furry Feud, the furry game show where you can win real cash and real prizes. Stan, welcome to the show.
Hello, I'm happy to be here. You know,
For our practice question is the sky blue? All right, Stan the Man, is this game? Oh, fantastic.
that's my final answer.
Oh, final answer. All right, that is the correct answer. That means we can continue with the interview, and it can be posted on my website, which I repeat, for 1,000.
And like the other thing he keeps posting about this Majira person supposedly being friends with Kiro. Did he know? Did he not know?
With you, my
And
friend.
I'm just like, who the fuck cares? Who the fuck cares? Like, how long and how far you want to dig into this? I don't know, it just seems kind of weird to have this kind of priority when you live in America, considering everything else that's going on. Conservatives, next big play is to scare the hell out of Washington by rewriting the Constitution, and they're willing to play the long game to win. Conservative movement isn't done reshaping the Constitution from the ground up. Conservatives are now pushing an unprecedented convention to rewrite the U.S. bedrock text since 1788. Yeah, they're a great example right here. Fuck me. Alright, well, that's all we got for today. I am your host, Michael Ringtail, the Human Observer, signing out for tonight. Be back next Monday. Stay tuned. Oh wait, what we got here? We got text. On Xbox, there was this one Fusky called RainMay94. He did quite on someone 14 years younger than him. Hopefully, Raina Ame94 will remain in the state of Alabama. Yeah. He got quite predatory on someone who was like 14 years younger than him. Jesus. Right? Like, you know, I'm all for awareness, obviously, for this person, but if you're not obsessed with them all the time, making like videos and looking into chat logs and constantly, I don't know, it could drive you crazy. And that's like when I watched this whole 18-minute thing and listened to it, I'm just thinking like, man, I hope you don't own any guns. This sounds like someone who just like shoot random people at a furry convention, thinking like we're all in on it or something. But come on, man. Yeah, hopefully this Rain anime person here, for example, as you mentioned, Clarkson, would just remain online. And he is predatory on someone who's younger. They'll probably just all you gotta do is report it. Not to Xbox, not to Twitter. You report it to the authorities or whatever. They could subpoena him for that sort of thing. If they got like actual chat logs, they could be like, fucking Microsoft, give us his chat logs. Ooh, look at that, evidence. Google, give us his search history. Oh, look at that, more evidence. Search on the home. End of days. That's all it takes. But that's it. You know, thanks for coming by, Clarkson. Thanks for the interactivity. Tell all your friends. Next Sunday, be around 5 o'clock or so. Have a good, fantastic night, humans in the human world. I'll be watching. I'll be watching.
Baby, agitate, jump out, feel it in the wheel. Can you talk about deep sea with me? Deep sea fish loves you forever, all as you're thinking over. Out of space when someone waits there, sound of jet they played for out. The deep sea fish loves you forever, all as you're thinking over. Out of space when someone waits there, sound of jet they played for out.
Watch me go, roll through a tunnel cause I'm going to a level that is full of bad guys. Me and chastise cause I rap like I'm fast. I'm Sonic the Hedgehog, never on spikes. Only got one life through a loop to loop. Gotta get the rings, jumping through the hoops. And yes, I'm blue, flying through a stage cause Dr. Robotnik can't even stop this. Flimsy machines that were made in China. Too much speed in Amy's China. What you wanna say, Tails got my back. Well, I guess sometimes when he's on the track, then I spin attack. Open up the screen and you know I don't lack my several emeralds. No, you're never gonna see me approaching. I don't need rings when I shine like golden. Look at this girl to defend the world. We gotta hit those springs like can't stop now, gotta move fast, gotta get those rings like cha-ching. Don't fall down for the opening. Yeah, now we gotta do it all over again. Look at this go to defend the world. Gotta hit those springs like can't stop now, gotta move fast, gotta get those rings like cha-ching. Flashback to Sonic 3, the first time that you heard of me.